Hey everyone, so this is episode 9 of Marco Polo. It's called Prisoners, and it's basically, before I get into the whole episode, it's just a gist of Marco being not really believed of what he said last episode. So basically, the whole episode, like, there's a little, like, 10-second snippet of you seeing Kublai yelling and like at the top of his lungs, basically, and Marco in his cell. I think he hears Kublai, so that he turns his head or something. But and that's before. That's after, or no, before, that's before the opening theme music starts playing and everything. And after that, Yusuf is telling Kublai what is happening after the lost battle. And before Yusuf can leave, after he talks, Kublai asks if he won't question his counsel or anything, and then he just leaves anyway, saying that I guess it's really not his place to question him. And then Marco is seen being brought before Kublai in the royal court, and Marco says he won't plead for his mercy, but he will defend himself. And both Ahmed and Jingham are determined to make him pay for being a traitor, basically, even kill him, possibly. It's so sad that they are so determined to make him pay when they don't really explicitly know for sure if he's the one that drew them into a trap, or even if they were drawn into a trap. I mean, I really like those characters prior, and putting aside Jingham's resentment for his father bringing in Marco as a servant. I mean, if Jingham's gonna be mad at Marco for being brought into something that he didn't even want to be brought into, he's gonna have to be mad at both Ahmed and Yusuf, because they were brought in against their will, because they're obviously foreigners who are basically servants, just like Marco is. Marco didn't want to fucking be here or be Kublai's servant in the first place. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you could assume that because Marco really didn't want to be Kublai's servant, that he led them into a trap. But you don't know that. I mean, he could have easily just been innocent and didn't know anything and know any better. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, putting aside the fact that Jingham is this way towards Marco, I think he has great potential to be thoughtful of. He has great potential to be this reasonable and logical thinking person, but his wanting so badly to please his father and get his father's acceptance is basically overshadowing that. So I mean, he had real potential there. If he could have just gotten past his resentment of Marco, even though Marco didn't really want to be there. And the same kind of goes for Ahmed, but in a different way. If Ahmed really didn't, I don't know, just try to poison everybody's minds and everything, and try to get himself to be on top. I mean, I think he could have been a reasonable good character, and one that I really enjoyed seeing on the screen. But yeah, I still think that Actually, I'll save that for later. So, anyway, so back to the scene at hand here. Kublai eventually then asks Marco when he goes silent if he has anything else to plead his case with after he names the things that he tries to defend himself with. And Marco's like, well, his fate is pretty much guaranteed no matter what the fuck he says, and Kublai pretty much agrees with that. And then it goes over to southern China, where Sadao is brought a pot as he plays with his praying mantis. Why he loves that damn thing so much, I don't know. I personally am not that loving towards insects myself, so which is why I'm just like, why? Anyway, so the stuff that's in the he opens the pot that's given to him, and there's ashes in there, and I think they're the ashes of Jing Fei, and he pretty much smells those ashes when two people come in and tell them people are coming to pledge their fealty to him, and all this good stuff, I guess. And Tadao's like, I'm gonna stand behind the board emperor and all this, and I personally, I am not, as I keep saying in these episodes recently, I am just wishing and hoping and praying that this motherfucker dies. I really do. I don't care about who. I just want him to die personally. He's really pissing my ass off. I'm just gonna keep it at that. And then fake Kokachin is then seen, and she is given a new person to help her, a new servant to help her after Zha Bing dies. And his name is Zudao. And he refuses to call her Kokachin, even though she insists on it. I don't quite know why that is, but if he doesn't want to and he doesn't feel comfortable, I'm not gonna question it yet until he shows me a reason not to question it. And that's when Chavi comes in and tells her of when she was given and married to Kublai, and then she presents the fake Kokachin with the finest silk that I think it was her at the time, her future mother-in-law gave her. Either that or it was her mother. Don't remember. If anybody can clarify that for me in the comments, please do. And anyway, so Chavi also pays fake Kokachin condolences on Zhao Bing dying. It is revealed that Marco is going to be executed the next day at dawn. Tears. Serious tears at this. Because I really like Marco. He is like the only character at this point who, at least at this point in this episode, who I think shouldn't die and is the sanest character on the show, and he is the overall only character who hasn't really gotten on my nerves yet to the point where I don't care what the fuck happens to them anymore. So yeah, he's like the only character so far that I feel like isn't fucking everything up. I don't know if that's the writers doing or what. I assume so, but at this point, he's the only character I really like. I even love at this point, not just like, love. So anyway, back to the episode. Jingham then goes to talk to Marco in his cell and wants to hear his thoughts and everything, and Jingham's like, Marco, you dying is the best thing that's gonna happen to this kingdom. And it's like, really, Jingham, you're making it hard for me to like you at this point. It really is. You really are making it hard. And Jingham's like, okay, I'm going to tell you this little story about a person's first hunt and how it could take days or even a week or more to have happen. And Jingo goes on to tell Marco that some people never even return. And Jingo then tells Marco of his first hunt. And after that, he says patience. Patience is a patient to try its first target, or its true target. And to which Marco says, innocent target, meaning him. Then Jingham tries to give Marco his cross back, but Marco's like, Jingham, you seem to need it more than me. So this whole scene, I made this notation. So I want to give this little snippet of. I've been watching this after show, or it's AfterBuzz TV on YouTube, and they do recaps and reviews of my favorite shows, or of hundreds of shows, not just my favorite shows, but hundreds of shows. And one of the shows that they review is Vikings, and the panel. I just want to give a little shout out to the panel on there. Is really fabulous. Love the recap they do on the review of the show. But anyway, so a few weeks back, even last night when they did their recap of Vikings of previous episodes, I wrote in the live chat that one of the main characters was a hashtag everlasting punk, and I said that a few weeks back, and so I thought of it while I was watching. I thought of that hashtag that I wrote while watching this Marco Polo episode, and the scene in particular where Marco and Jingle were talking reminded me of that so much, and so I want to cross that hashtag over to this particular episode, and crown Jingham the everlasting punk in this series, because he has serious fucking issues. He has daddy issues, serious daddy issues, if you can't tell by now at this point in time. He has serious fucking daddy issues. And so that's why I'm going to hashtag this, hashtag Jingham the everlasting punk in this series, because he's fucking ridiculous at this point. He's fucking ridiculous. I wanted to get that out. I had to get that out, because at this point I'm just like, Jingham, get your life together. Get your fucking life together. I swear to God. Anyway, so then the whole show shifts back over to Sadao and John Young, and he's talking to the Empress about, and they're talking to one another about Sadao's actions to this point after the end of last episode, and so the Empress then says that she's not going to support Sadao, basically, and trying to form a unified South China, and she says that he'll need the new Emperor's approval, and he can't do that, or he can't really keep up keep her from him too much longer. And as he's saying this, he's loading this little handheld cannon with not only gunpowder but like pottery shrapnel or something like that into it. He lights this match and then lights the end of the cannon as he points it at her, and it goes off and shoots her, killing her. Yeah, if I didn't think that he was more of an ass at this point, then that surely would solidify that for me even more so, and can't wait for his ass to die. Just saying. And then it goes back to Mongolia, or Kambalak, and Hundred Eyes is telling Kublai that if the Latin is culpable, then so is Hundred Eyes, because Kublai trusted Marco to him. And Kublai doesn't really listen and has 100 Eyes taken out of the fight guards. Kublai, at this point, I was really, up until this episode, I was really okay with Kublai, regardless of the fact that he's trying to take over the world and be its emperor, basically, and killing innocent people just to be fucking emperor. I was putting that aside because I'm like, you know what? Aside from that, Kublai is really not that bad. I mean, seriously, Kublai is really not that bad as far as personality wise. Setting aside the Khan of Khans apart from his personality, his original, like, his own personality and stuff. So, but this episode really tried it, really tried that notion, and I don't know. I'm hoping that Kublai can kind of redeem himself in future episodes. I'm hoping, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen. Anyways, so then it goes to Koka-chin getting a dress fitting, and as she's getting her dress fitting, she tries to leave and go to the Minister of Justice, but her servant tries to stop her, but really not successful, and so she has him move aside so she can leave. And when she opens the door, she sees two armed guards standing in front of the door. So she can't leave. Excuse me. So it's revealed that Chabi has ordered Koka-chin to stay in her quarters. Okay, Chabi. I don't know what to say to that. So I'm just gonna go on. Chabi then goes to see Ling, and says to Ling that she is well beyond her years and everything. Then she asks how both her feet are and how she's liking Kambalak, and so they talk about that for a little bit, and Ling tells Chabi Milin is a dancer, and Chabi's like, dancer? Like, so Ling's like, yeah, dancer. And Chabi asks Ling about her father, and if her father had many dancers, and Ling's like, yeah. And basically Chabi finds out that the emperor was the former emperor who had died a few episodes back was Ling's father. And of course she has to go run and tell Ahmed about Ling's father, and he's clearly ecstatic about this. Oh, Ahmed, you. I'm not gonna get into that because I think I've said my piece on that already. Then Marco tells 100 Eyes that he values 100 Eyes' friendship, or is seen that he values 100 Eyes' friendship. I guess previously. And 100 Eyes is like, well, we're not friends. I'm just here to fucking teach your ass. Okay. Anyways, then Marco wonders if there's any chance for his life to be spared. 100 Eyes tells him only if he can offer something to Kublai that is worth more than his life, which is true. I'm not gonna argue that. So now then is seen telling the new emperor that his mother killed herself because she missed his father very much, which is clearly a fucking lie. Can this dude ever tell the truth? Not really. And so then Sadao gives the kid a praying mantis to look after. Oh god, I'm so done with him. I really am. Koka-chin is then seen in the bath, and she asks Judao to get some sandalwood for her bath, and as when he leaves, she holds up this knife and is about to kill herself, but she can't go through with it, and everything. Then you see Jingham and his wife trying to have sex and everything, and he can't get it up, apparently. That's going to keep it at that, to keep it kind of PG. And and his wife is asking him what his troubles are, and he and his thoughts are, and he's saying his thoughts are his own, basically, and he says it kind of in a rude way. But then a minute or two later, she basically intensifies Jingham's jealousy towards Marco, and Ahmed's not the only one who's intensifying his jealousy of Marco. It looks like. So, I mean, you don't really see much of his wife. You see her, but you don't really hear that much from her in previous episodes up until now. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe she's gonna come back significantly later in the series, and well into season 2, if she doesn't die first. Who knows? Anyway, so Lin is then shown in the next scene being visited by Chabi, and Chabi brings her to see Ling, but it's kind of far off in the distance, and Ling's back is to them, so Ling doesn't see her mother at this point. And basically Chabi tells her that Ling will be careful, Ling was her own daughter, because Lin won't see Ling ever again. So Chavi's take a good long look at her, because you're not gonna see her ever again. And Mei Lin is told by Chavi that if she does as Chavi tells her to, Ling is going to have Ling's days will be stretched long before her and everything. Basically, that's a veiled threat, if I've ever seen one. Anyways, on to the next scene. Biamba visits Kotalin, Kaido's daughter, and speaks with her and talks about how awkward the relationship is at the moment, which I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty damn awkward, because every time they try to do something, they've either been interrupted or it's just awkward as hell. Yeah. Yay for awkwardness, right? Yay. So Yusuf is then summoned by Marco in the next scene, and Marco shows him a drawing that he made and tells him that it's a catapult that he saw one time, or he either saw or heard about, and just tells him the plans that he has for helping the war. And then it goes back to Zhongyao, where Sadao shows the Kid Emperor the remaining of the Red Lotus, who I assume were the guests that were coming over that the guy told Sadao about early in the episode. And he tells the kid that they're bad people. Of course, he's gonna fucking tell these people that they're bad. He's gonna tell this kid that they're bad people. And why wouldn't he believe them? I mean, come on, he's an adult. Adults don't lie, right? Sarcasm, by the way. And then Sadao asks what he thinks that they should do, and the kid's like, kill them, in a whisper. I'm hoping this kid doesn't grow up to be a douchebag like this motherfucker that's standing right in front of him. I'm hoping, and I'm praying silently and everything. Please don't become like him, please. I'm really hoping. So, then the next scene, Yusuf is shown bringing Marco back in front of Kublai and telling Kublai of what Marco has shown him, and Kublai's basically scoffing at the idea, and Kublai's like, well, why are you bringing him to me when I know you crave my failure. And Yusuf's like, I don't fucking believe that shit. I mean, if you're choosing to believe him, then if you're choosing to believe that, then you haven't been listening to me at all. I mean, whatsoever. And yeah, that's the whole thing. And then so they're dismissed later, a few minutes later. And then you see Yusuf giving someone a handful of things, or several handfuls of something. It's not clear what it is at this point in time, what Yusuf is giving this guy. But you see that happening, and then you see Yusuf in front of Kublai and confessing to everything that has happened so far. Everything from Kublai's assassination attempt to his brother Arik conspiring against him, everything so far, including the what just happened in the last episode, where Jingleman's like, we were down into a trap and everything. So Kublai is like, I don't believe it. You're a liar. And Yusuf then tells Kublai that Kublai leads with his head, and minds can be easily manipulated. And Yusuf's like, well, how many more people will have to be killed before Kublai stops trying to go after conquering all the land, basically. I think that's what he said. If not, please correct me. I may be wrong. But that's what it sounded like he said, basically, in a roundabout way. And Kublai says Marco's guilty, but Yusuf's like, well, Marco's only guilty of his blind desire for Kublai's love. Which I think is very, very, very true, because, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I certainly believe it. I mean, I don't know. Yusuf explains that Marco reminds him of himself, and that Kublai needs dedication in the present moment, basically. And so Kublai will be most grateful, it seems, if he has Marco's dedication and everything. Yusuf then says he is no longer capable of, or willing to give him that anymore, which I applaud Yusuf for saying that. And Yusuf then explains to Kublai that his last counsel to him is to say to him, use his finest engineers to make this catapult that Marco suggested earlier, and then gets up to leave. He gets up after saying that and leaves. And Kublai's like, he doesn't accept his confession of everything he's confessed to. And Yusuf explains that he's gonna have to accept it because of the fact that he sent several letters of his confession out to all of the corners of the kingdom, and so and he explains that therefore, because he has done that, it has weakened Kublai's position. And then Yusuf leaves with the two guards following behind him. Yusuf then goes to Marco's cell and tells Marco to be decisive in battle, and Marco is then released while Yusuf goes inside the cell. And Marco makes his way back to his room that he was given before he was put in the cell, and grabs his journal under his seat that he had put under his seat. And then as Marco kind of rifles through the journal, you see someone rolled up in a rug, and I assume it's Yusuf, just because I assume that Kublai truly has no other choice but to accept Yusuf's confession, and so he apparently the harshest punishment you can have is to be rolled up in a carpet or rug and trampled on to death by horses. And so I assume that's what happened with Yusuf here, even though you don't really see his face. And that is the end of the episode. So my predictions pretty much are staying the same. I think Meilin is going to end up taking her daughter and running away and never looking back, or at least I'm hoping that's what happens very, very much, because I feel like she's gotten the short end of the stick. I mean, Meilin's probably also one of the few characters in the show who I even like, regardless of if I love them. And it's like her and Marco have I mean, well, yes, I mean, no, because they really haven't done anything bad. Honestly, in my opinion, they haven't really done anything bad. I mean, they've been doing this stuff. They're trying to do is fucking survive. Meilin from the beginning of the season has been sleeping with men just because of the fact that otherwise, I mean, she has no, how else is she gonna survive? She's gonna be dirt poor like she was in when she was a child if she doesn't sleep with men. So I mean, what else can she do besides sleep with men? So I mean, she's been doing that since she was a fucking kid. So she can't exactly. I mean, she doesn't know any way else to make a living besides and not barely scrape by. So I mean, like I said at the end of the last episode or whatever, I think she's been given the short end of the stick here throughout her entire life. So I personally think that I would love to see her escape with her daughter and live happily ever after somewhere else. I think Ahmed is the one who orchestrated the assassins being hired and killing or trying to kill Kublai. Possibly even manipulating Jingham to do it himself, so that Ahmed's hands aren't dirty or anything. I think possibly Kokachin and Marco are going to end up continuing their relationship. If not, then I think their sexual encounter is going to be revealed. I still think that Kaidu's daughter is going to end up getting pregnant, and it's going to be revealed that it's Marco's baby. Possibly, I'm going to still stick by that. So those are still my predictions for now. Those really haven't changed all that much since last time I made them. So that's all I have for now, actually. So with that said, if you like my videos, like them, please. That would be grateful. I would like you to, I mean, I'd be really grateful. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos when I put them up. And please comment below and any of my videos that I recap and review and make predictions on. If you want to discuss them with me, I would love to discuss it with you guys. And with that said, I will see you tomorrow in my next Marco Polo recap and review of season 1, episode 10, which is the finale for that season. And with that said, I will see you guys later. Bye.